Hello everybody, I'm Deborah Bucher with Deborah Bucher Designs, and I'm coming to you this afternoon as I'm starting to put the finishing touches on this decoupage bulletin board project that I've been working on this week. And I'm going to put some transfers on. I have like 3 different transfers out here that I may be making choices on. So let me put the camera down and let's get started. Okay. So transfers, if you're not familiar with them, some come in tubes, some come in packages, some come in books, but they always have a large selection of designs on them. And the one that for sure I'm going to use today is this one from Redesign with Prima. And I'm going to use this sunflower right here. So if you've never used a transfer before, they're super fun and easy to use. I think I'm going to use this leaf here also, so I'll cut it out at the same time. They're super easy to use, and they can take a project from ho-hum to fabulous without any trouble. And one of the things that I advise everybody to do is when you cut up your transfers, because you can take whole sections or you can just take bits and pieces that you're wanting to use. But when you cut them up, I suggest that you put tape back on them to keep them together, because if they come apart on you and stick on top of themselves, they're ruined. Okay, so now I'm going to take the scissors and cut this one apart. And so we have, so what I'd like to do is, I have a lot going on around the edges here, and I just want to bring a spot of color up here. And I want this leaf coming out there. Nope, definitely coming out this way. So I'm going to put my leaf on first. So I'm going to anchor it with that. Get one of my sticks. Okay, so they all come with a wooden stick like this to apply them. I do have some applicators that you can also use, but it's not necessary. And if you haven't seen the 2 previous videos, there's a part 1 and a part 2 in decoupaging this bulletin board and the prep that was needed ahead of time, because this will still be a functioning bulletin board. So I'm just rubbing this transfer, and this is painted on this film, and the process is to rub it to transfer it off. That's why they're called transfers. And then you just start lifting up, and if it comes up with the plastic, just lay it back down and rub it some more. And I have, after doing the decoupage on here, I have applied 2 coats of satin top coat to prep this. But I've put transfers on wood, I've put them on terracotta pots, definitely on furniture. Okay, I stopped the process of putting the transfers on because there was actually, this transfer I think was defective. It took me an hour to get it transferred on here. And I didn't know what the reason was, but I've gone ahead and transferred other pieces on here, and I'll show you, because they went on lickety split like they should go on. So I'll show you where we're at, and then I'm going to be ready to wax. Okay, so I think the best way to show you where the transfers are is I transferred this bird and this writing and this ferny branch and this butterfly, and doesn't it look nice with this? I don't know, I think this is a moth on here, but I mean they look like they all were there together. And then over here, it's kind of hard to tell what I added. I added this little piece of floral. And here's the sunflower that took me an hour to get on, the leaf and the sunflower. I'm going to have to contact Prima and let them know that I got a defective transfer. So now we're going to go on to adding shading with the brown wax. Okay, so my camera didn't catch the filming. So what I did is I took this French tip brush. These are great brushes, and I do sell them on my website, and I have one for every color of wax. And I went in and I shaded up here and down along this edge, and did a little bit in here where these pieces of tissue paper joined together just to give it that old feeling. And then I did inside all the petals around the sunflower and down here. And you know, it's darker here and then it gets lighter as it goes around. These brushes give you so much control over that. And I thought my camera was on when I was doing this, and it turns out it wasn't, so I'm going to show it in another area so you get a good idea. Okay, so I'm using my French tip brush, and I'm using Dixie Belle Best Dang Wax in brown. And what I'm accomplishing with this is that I want to just do some shading and shadowing. So I just put a little bit on the tip, and I'm going right up here in the corners of it and just adding some shading. And I've already put on two coats, actually with all the decoupage mini coats of satin top coat. So I can, by doing that, I have a lot more control over how much wax I'm putting down and spreading it out so that I get nice shading with it. I love waxing. It just adds another dimension to your work. This butterfly is one of the transfers that I added on here, but it looks like it came right on this paper. So I want to just kind of like put a little aging. Like this has been hanging in a room where men smoke cigars. If you get too much on, then you can just take a baby wet wipe and wipe it back. If you didn't have a satin top coat on here, a barrier between the paper, then it would grab right to it and you would have less control over what you were shading. And just very subtly, I'm just kind of like bringing the edges of this tissue paper that I laid on top, just kind of aging it out a little bit. And down here, where this is, let me make sure you guys are still in view. Down here is where the fox in a suit, where the edge of the newspaper was already darkened, but a lot of that's been covered up, adding on the additional decoupage paper. So we can just highlight that a little bit. And I might want to go around. This is ever so subtle. You don't want to be obvious everywhere. So I'm just darkening this up a little bit. Like maybe a little bit under his chin. Okay, so you guys get the idea. Okay, I've finished waxing and shading, and the next step will be to build a frame around him. And then I have a really cool textured metallic coppery finish that I'm going to do on him. But I just wanted, since I have him standing up, you can get the whole total view of what he looks like. This guy has been so much fun to do. I love, love, love this piece, and this was just really fun to create. And it was using different decoupage tissues and transfers and wax. So that butterfly is a transfer. This moth is a decoupage tissue, and you can't tell the difference. And then down here, I added, let's see, where, oh, there. This bird is from the Parisian, Parisian Birds, I think is the name of it, transfer. I've used bits and pieces of it for a couple of years. There's so much you can get out of that one transfer. And I love that bird on there. There's so many elements of things that I love on here. This piece of tissue is from Grunge Meters. I've done an entire coffee table with that tissue. It's one of my favorite things. Musical notes. More of the small Harlequin. This is a transfer, the little floral. And then we started off with a sunflower and leaves, and that was a tough one to get on there because there's something wrong with that transfer. And then the Grocers underneath is a transfer. So you can do so much with the decoupage tissues. I think I added a fern on here somewhere. Oh yes, I did. That is a transfer. But this piece for me was super fun to do, and I love this fox guy, and I think this would be great to do, you could do the same design on the front of dresser drawers, would be really awesome for a boy's room. If you've got a man cave, I think it would be really cool in there. It would make a good Father's Day gift. This is just one of my favorite things, you guys. So the next time you see this, I will be building the frame and doing the texturized finish on it. Let me know what you think in the comments. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so. It means so much to me. Thank you so much.